For today's Trash to Treasure project, we are going to make some simple and easy kitchen faucets. Stay tuned and see how quick and easy this is to make. Alright, so the first step in making our little Trash to Treasure sink is to make that base plate that is, sits there, that the handle and the faucet all come out of. And I'm just using a skinny stick. What I've done is I've drawn a line. This is only part of one because I've already been working on a couple of these just to make sure this was going to work. I've drawn a line. It's just off from the middle lengthwise. And I know that if I go in to the wide side of that, it'll put my hole in about the middle. I want to go more than a ½ inch from the closest end. And I've got a push pin. Now, this is a very careful, tedious, slow job because it's really, really, really easy to split the stick. And I found that this actually worked better than a drill bit for me today. If you've got a really small drill bit, try it. It might work for you. For me, this was just faster. So I've got this all the way through from both directions. Now I need to make it the hole bigger. Before I do any more now, I'm going to cut this to size. So I'm going to measure a ½ inch from the hole that I drilled each way. That will make this base of our faucet assembly about 1 inch long, or in scale about 12 scale inches long. So I've got my easy cutter. I'm going to cut just inside the line because I noticed I went a little longer than I wanted to. Now I'm going to, I don't have an emery board on this table, but there's one right here. Forgot to grab my emery board before I started. So I'm going to make this a little more smooth on the sides now. You could round the ends if you wanted to. You can have it square. You can make this any shape you want. It's up to you. Now I've got one of these big paper clips, and we're going to use the center part. We've already got a faucet formed. We don't have to do too much work here. You're going to eyeball this. So I'm going to come down. I'll measure it after I eyeball it so you can see kind of what I'm doing. And this is the second one I've made, so this may be different than the one you see me work on later. So I cut that. That's about 1/4 inch from the bend. And remember, we're using the inside bend. Now, I'm going to see if I can get this in here yet. Not yet. No. So I'm going to kind of work the push pin around, and that's the cat. He's coming to have his way, tell us what we're doing wrong, I'm sure. He's a very opinionated cat. Since my son moved out, this cat has become my shadow. He was primarily my son's cat. All right. Now we're going to push this in the hole. And we're going to work until we get it in. Need to work on the hole a little more with the push pin. And this is just a matter of going back and forth, push pin to paper clip, push pin to paper clip, back and forth until it goes in. We want it pretty snug. We don't want it loose at all. We barely want, that's what I want. Just big enough that I can get it just big enough hole that I can get it in. All right, now I'm going to cut this back probably to about there. And that is around a 1/2 inch from that end. Double check that it will go in the hole. Yep. All right, now I have super glue. Yay, I remembered to buy super glue at the store. A little bit of super glue in that hole. And push your faucet piece into the hole. Get it so that it comes all the way to the end, and then I'm going to stick it kind of across this paper clip so it doesn't glue to my desk. When that glue is dry, make sure that your faucet is standing straight up and down, because you're not going to be able to adjust that later. And I think I want to adjust this. I want to cut this off just a little bit more. I don't like where that's ending. There. Get it so you like the way it looks, and you like the way it's turned. Let this dry. When the super glue is all the way dry, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to spray it with this brushed metallic satin nickel spray paint. And I'll probably need 2 or 3 coats. Mainly we're coloring the wood strip. So when that is dry, I will be back and we'll put the handles on. Alright, so this is the other faucet assembly I worked on this morning earlier before I started recording, and it's to the point where we can glue the handles on. It has just a tiny bit of damp paint on the bottom. So I'm working on my tile. What I did was I found a couple of little kind of clear beads. This is the closest I had to clear, so they'll work. You can use anything you want for the handles. What I did, I got something that looked like it was handle size in the doll's hand. It's a good way to judge size of things. Now I've got my super glue. I'm going to attempt to get these spaced evenly. Put a drop of super glue on each side. There. Tweezers. Put the hole up. And set this down in the super glue. Hopefully without gluing myself or my tweezers to the bead. There. So that needs to dry, and when that's all dry, I'll come back and we'll take a look at the finished faucet. Alright, now that the super glue is dry, and I've put handles on the other one that I started this morning. You can see those, I don't know if it shows up, but those were a really cute shape. And then the one that I put the handles on camera. So that's how easy it is to make a kitchen faucet for your kitchen sink. I hope you enjoyed this Trash to Treasure project. Be sure and check the blog post. There'll be some photos there that are better than what I can put onto the video. If you haven't found my Facebook page, be sure and check the link in the description box below. That's the quickest and easiest way to get a hold of me. And if you'd like to help me to improve this channel, check out my Patreon page. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.